Welcome back to Out with the New and In with the Old. Today, finding bargains. Um, I got a few key ideas on this, and I'm going to sit down this time. It's hot out. You have to excuse my shop for being a mess. Getting it, haven't really been out here, and we moved 6, 7 months ago. I've been working on the house, and now I got to start working on this. Anyway, finding bargains. I want to start by saying, number one, think about what you need. Do you really need an SUV? Do you really need a four-wheel drive, four-door pickup? It seems like those are the popular vehicles. They are here. I mean, depends what part of the country you live in, because I've gone to some city areas where you don't see those around as much. But here, it's the go-to vehicle. Everybody's driving a Tahoe, Expedition, Navigator, Escalade, big four-door pickups, and it seems like the new craze is three-quarter-ton four-door pickups, which, that's fine if that's what people want. But when we're bargain hunting and trying to cut the budget of owning a vehicle down, then we have to ask ourselves, do we need it? A lot of times you don't. I mean, I could see someone, a family that has 8 kids or something needing an SUV. But if you got 2 or 3 kids, do you really need it? I mean, a minivan will hold as much or more than most SUVs. A two-wheel drive pickup, extended cab or even regular cab, will do everything a four-door pickup can do if you don't have, a bunch of kids. There's options out there that people, I think, don't think of because it's like embedded in your brain. You see this stuff around you and you feel like, you should have it too. But like I said, when you're wanting to cut down on expenses, you have to look at what's necessary and what isn't necessary. Another good thing is to look at high production vehicles, F-150s, millions and millions and millions of them. So you got lots of choices. If you're looking at F-150s or Silverado 1500s, there's so many of them that eventually, you can usually find a good deal because there's just so many. And both of them, depending on the years, I say 04 and back with the F-150s and probably about 06 and back on the Silverados. They're bulletproof. I mean, provided they were cared for, you drive either one of those trucks, 200,000, and Dodge Rams. I don't like to go into the Hemi era too much. It seems like the first Hemis were pretty decent, but the later ones got worse, had more problems. I've seen old Hemis with 300,000 on them, the old 5.7s in a half-ton pickup, the older ones, like in 2001, 2, 3, or 2002 and 3, 4, maybe 5. So those trucks will do anything you need them to do, and you can generally get them for $5,000 or less. You can find nice ones with low miles, which are getting harder and harder to come by, but you can find them 5 and 7 with low mileage. You can find them under 5 with 150 or more thousand on them, and a lot of times there's a ton of life left in one of those. Do your due diligence and look at the owner. Do all the things we've been talking about. there's so many alternatives out there that staying away from the popular vehicles is a way to help find bargains. An example of mine is several years ago, I bought a 95 Cadillac, sedan DeVille. Um, wasn't even looking for one. I always thought they were nice looking cars. But that era, most of them had the North Star. So I literally wouldn't come near them, especially the early North Stars. Very, very troublesome engines. Head gaskets, oil usage. They perform great, but reliability wise, and that was also maintenance wise was bad. They had to you had to take the intake out to do several procedures to it. It just was a very hard car to work on. And then add that the reliability issues. I think they got better towards the end, but I'd say the first 4 or 5 years of those I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. I mean, unless the work's been done. It's kind of like that Power Stroke diesel, that 6 liter. They had head stud problems, and you buy a kit and you do that. But if you pay somebody to do that, it's a huge job. It's a huge job if you do it yourself, because I believe you drop the engine down with the subframe and lift the car up and pull it out. You know, that's how you got to do the heads. I don't think you can do them in the car. Anyway, going back to the 95, I bought it. It was a one owner, 72,000 mile car, $2,500. It looked like a brand new car. I drove it. The only thing wrong with it, the tires were so old, they had bumps in them, bubbles. I remember going real slow and feeling it, and I was like, okay, so I got to buy tires. Other than that, the car was like new. It sat a lot. The lady's husband had passed. She literally just didn't drive it anymore. And the neat part was, when I went to register the car, the lady at oh, you got that car? And I said, what do you know about it? She goes, oh, if a bird pooped on it, she took it to the dealer. I'm like, oh, well, good. So I found out, some neat information about the car. They were just extremely meticulous about it. Another reason I bought it, it did not have the North Star. It had the last of the 4.9 V8s, which were good, solid, reliable engines. Much easier to work on, too. It had lots of power. I mean, it probably wasn't as fast as a North Star, but it had more low-end power than a North Star did. The North Stars had to be revved up a little to really make their power. And the old 4.9, it just pulled away real nice. Lots of power. Like I said, 72,000 miles. Anyway, I drove that car, and I drove it home. And what'd you get that car for? Well, I just got it because it was a deal. Well, let me take it to work tomorrow. Oh, okay, you take it. Come back the next day from work, and she's home from work, and I look at the front of the car, and it's got a license plate that has her name on it. I'm like, huh, that's strange. I walk in the house. Hey, I like that car. I'm thinking I'll just use it. All right, I guess. I bought it, so if we had to take a trip, it'd be a nice car to do that in. But I guess you can take it to work. Just don't let anybody put door dings in it, because this car was sweet. $2,500. Anyway, we kept the car. Oh, I don't know. I can't even think of how many years. We moved to a new state. It was about a 400-mile move. Wanted to be closer to our son, and so we moved up here. And I did lots of traveling, looking at houses back and forth, and the 400 miles. The car was great, and not to mention it got good gas mileage. Anyway, long story short, 72,000 miles, $2,500. Car was mint. Probably kept it 4 years because it had over 100,000 on it, and I put it on Craigslist for 3,500. I said, let's sell this thing. It's a Cadillac. I don't want to start dealing with auto leveling suspensions and all the other crap. And I can get my money back. I got my money back in $1,000 and drove it 4 years. Okay. The moral of the story is nobody was buying these cars. And I got the opportunity to buy one that, apparently nobody else is buying them. And well, cars start getting cheap when nobody wants them. And it was one of the best cars we ever had. Sometimes I think I should have kept it and just dealt with whatever happened over the years, because the guy I sold it to, and this was probably 5, 6 years ago, probably not that long maybe, but I saw it for sale again. And he had it for the same price he paid me. And it had 100 and I think 40,000 miles on it. And he listed it as no issues whatsoever. I'm like, well, that's just, that was just a good car. But I've noticed when a car has a first owner that cares for it extremely well, the rest of its life is better. I think the first owner has a lot to do with how a car lasts, the break-in period. And don't let a dealer tell you there's no break-in period. Open up your owner's manual. In the car, there's a break-in period for every single car that's built. And I suggest doing it if you buy a new car. Our channel's not about new cars. We're about old cars. And I just wanted to tell you about that deal. That's one of many deals I got, but that one sticks in my head just because the car was so sweet. I mean, just like no scratches, no nothing. I went and I wanted white wall tires on it, regular white walls, not that white walls, because that's what they came with, and I wanted it to look right. So I finally found somebody that had those in stock, and when I replaced the tires. That's all I ever did to the car. Tires, oil changes, and that set of tires. If I remember right, on the highway, that thing got like 25 miles to the gallon. The rest of the time, I think I don't know, it probably got a hair under 20 maybe, but it was good. It got good fuel mileage for a luxury four-door. And it was smooth and powerful and comfortable, and it looked nice. I had so many people comment, oh boy, that's a really nice Cadillac. Yeah. Anyway, so the moral of the story, the whole thing is, don't be hung up on what everybody else is driving. Don't be hung up on a car that you just got to have when maybe you don't. Maybe you don't need that four-wheel drive SUV. Maybe a minivan will do it. Minivans aren't as popular, although I hear in the new car category they are getting popular again. But I don't think they'll ever be as popular as the big SUVs everybody wants. Everybody wants those things. They eat a lot of gas. They're high on insurance. And then there are even the used ones with a lot of miles on them. People want a lot of money for it. You can get minivans under $5,000 all the time. And nice. They're driven by women and, people that don't beat the crap out of them. Just ask for a maintenance record and check it over good and get you a minivan. It'll do everything a four-wheel drive Tahoe will do. It'll even go through the snow good, front-wheel drive. And some of the minivans are all-wheel drive, the old ones. Let's see, unpopular vehicles. Yeah, another one, two-wheel drive pickups. Everybody's got to have four-wheel drive. If you don't really need four-wheel drive, number one, a two-wheel drive pickup drives nicer. Number two, it gets a lot better fuel mileage. Number three, it accelerates a lot better. I've driven four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive back to back, and there's a pretty amazing takeoff difference. A four-wheel drive truck is always going to be, you're hauling another 1,000 pounds. Right there, just the four-wheel drive part, the transfer case and the front end. And the four-door part of most trucks is another 1,000 pounds. People, you take this into account when you're looking at old trucks. That maybe it's a regular cab. Oh, well, I don't really want a regular cab, but does it matter if you just want to pick up? The truck, that 95 F-150 I got out there, I think it weighs like 4,100 pounds. You can't buy a new pickup that weighs 4,100 pounds. I'll bet a damn Colorado doesn't weigh that much. I bet that the mid-size Chevy pickup weighs a lot more than that. And weight counts. It counts for a lot of things. Tire wear, just general wear, fuel mileage, which, that old truck with a 351, it's not going to get great fuel mileage, but I'm not making payments or high insurance either. So anyway, just things to think about. High production vehicles. By the way, the other day I asked everybody to to do some homework. I said, pick a car you like. Even if you're not shopping, pick a car you like. Okay, say you like old Camaros. Put in the year Camaro you like in Facebook Marketplace. See what pops up. Look at the mileages, the prices. Save them. Save the cars you want to look at in your spot, your saved area. And then watch. See what happens. Watch which price sells, watch which mileage sells. Just keep an eye on how it's going with that car. I do it all the time with cars that I kind of wouldn't mind buying, and I watch them. And it's funny, the ones I've been watching that I like have gone up, and I think they're starting to level off because people are getting kind of retarded with it. They're, the cars started off as $1,000, $1,500 cars, your LeSabres, 98s, and Bonnevilles. And now they're $5,000 cars and with 100,000 miles on them. So, yeah, that's why you keep an eye on things. If you see something like that happening, you might have to pick a different car. Mercury Marquis, for the longest time, they were real affordable, and they kind of went way up, and they've kind of come back down almost to being good priced again. You can find, low 100,000 mile Marquis and Crown Vics. You can find them pretty cheap, $3,500 and well kept. Sometimes one owner. Cars in this part of the country aren't popular. Everybody wants a truck of some sort. So cars are better to look at if you're just wanting to live, and spend the least amount on your vehicle. And the cost of owning it too. Because the cost of owning a truck, it's more. There's more to do to it. So if you got to have one, you got to have one. And there's plenty of good deals on trucks, good trucks out there. But if you don't need one, don't get it. The whole thing is pick what you really need, not what you really want. Anyway, appreciate you watching. I think we'll have maybe what are good cars to pick on the next video. I had the cars not to pick. They were the ones to stay away from. And we'll have the ones to gravitate towards next time. Anyway, thanks for watching.